Hi, yeah, it's Jackie here with the LGFA, and we're on another call today looking ahead to more club activity coming up over the weekend. The currentaccount.ie All Ireland Junior and Intermediate Club Championship semi finals lie in store, and I'm delighted to be joined by four very, very special guests this afternoon. On the top left hand side of my screen as I look is Anthony Cooke from St Sylvester's. Good to have you, Anthony. Top right, staying in Dublin. And from St Jude's is Jeff Kane. Bottom left hand side of my screen is Marita McDonald, representing the Castlebar Mitchels club, and also sub-goalkeeper, I believe, on the panel as well. Marita, we'll get to that in a little bit. And we have Paul Kelly from Mullinahone, who will be well known to Tipperary Gaelic Games folk as a former All-Ireland winning hurler with the Premier County. Folks, great to have you on. How are we doing?
Good, yeah.
Good. We'll start with yourself, Marita, given that you're the first game up at the weekend on Saturday, Castlebar Mitchels against Castleisland Desmonds. So you're coaching the Castlebar Mitchels team, Marita, but as I mentioned in the intro, you're also a member of the panel. So how is that double job and working out for you?
Yeah, it's not really, to be honest. I stay as clear from the two posts as I possibly can, to be honest. I think there was no one else putting their hand up, so I ended up getting roped into it.
What kind of a bunch have you with you, Marita? They've obviously come this far, so they've got something about them.
Yeah. Look at great bunch of girls. To be honest, it's been quite a journey, and I'm just delighted that it's still going. I went through the county final against Lewisburg, and then into the Connacht where we met Turlestrane in the final. And I suppose this first 15 minutes were probably shaky enough, and then we kind of got to grips with them and came out winners in the end. So different challenge again now on Saturday. But yeah, really looking forward to it, and all the girls are in good form. So that's the main thing.
Good. How big an advantage does home venue, do you think, mean, Marita?
Yeah, look at I suppose it's great to have home venue. It's obviously going to be a huge well, in a way, kind of a benefit to the girls because their family and all their friends are going to be there. And then but with that, as well, there's a lot of hype, and sometimes, you just don't want it to get to any of the girls either. When they're seeing all the bunting and the flags and everything up around the town, whilst it is nice sometimes, yourself, it might kind of get to some people, but we're trying to just kind of keep things as normal as possible, and just kind of running training sessions as we normally do, and we're not really saying very much about what's ahead of us. It's just another game.
Wishing you well. What's the local interest like in the game, Marita?
Yeah, it's massive. God, we've a lot of people kind of coming on board and wanting to kind of do the right thing, and we've got a great sponsor in Instagram, and she's been excellent to us all year. So we've all the eyebrows will be on point now on Saturday. Wait, you see.
Good.
But yeah, look at a lot of interest, and I suppose thankfully that there's going to be a lot of people there that can support. So really looking forward to it now.
So all on point for the live stream. All four games will be live streamed. Yeah, absolutely. All four games live streamed over the weekend. So if things work out, Marita, you could be up against my next guest in the final. That's Anthony Cooke from St Sylvester's. How are you, Anthony?
Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Good to have you on, and thanks for coming on. Anthony, look, I suppose you came through a Dublin Championship, which is always competitive, and you have a game under your belts as well. In the All-Ireland series. Kinawley are next for you guys, Anthony. Do you know much about them, or what kind of homework have you been able to do on your opponents?
Well, luckily, the great thing at the moment is a lot of games are live streamed, so you can kind of watch them back, So we have been able to watch a couple of games where I think in the past it would have been a bit more, you would have to do a bit more detective work, I suppose, to find out about teams and players. So that's been the fantastic thing this year. Even when we played Holloway Gales there in the quarterfinal, we were able to go back in and watch they both their London final and their British final up online. So it was, that's a huge advantage just to see teams play and just see, obviously, you focus a lot on your own game, but it's great to see how a team might set up or how they might play or who their danger players are. So the live streams are great for that. But I suppose it works both ways around as well. They can see lots. They can see lots on us as well.
We're sending Jerome Quinn out to you again on the weekend, Anthony. He, like, the coverage of the Holloway Gales game was absolutely fantastic. Do the players take notice of that, and what does it mean just to get that little bit of extra exposure?
Yeah, like they do. Like, it's great to have the games, and again for watching them back. I think they all enjoy watching the games back when they win. Anyway, if we get beaten, I'm not sure that they'll watch them back. But yeah, it's great. Jerome's been into a couple of our games now, and his coverage is brilliant. So it's great, and he always gets. I don't know where he gets the information from about the players and the club, but he always seems to dig up lots of information he shares in the during the match. So I think the players love that. They love hearing little anecdotes about themselves being called out by Jerome. So yeah, his coverage is fantastic.
Just in terms of your own setup, Anthony, we know the household names that are on the team as well, but it's very much that word team. It's a team effort. I guess within that dressing room, within your camp, there's no stars. Everyone rows in behind the club crest. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think I suppose the county players love coming back in and playing with the club as well. It's I think I seen an interview with Niamh after the Leinster final. Like,
very emotional.
Exactly, yeah. Someone who's won it all at county level, like, it still means an awful lot to them at club. So yeah, there's no real hierarchy in the team. Like, they all really row in behind, and you need, like, especially with the new split season probably coming up. You're not going to. County players are going to be concentrating on county for the first half of the year, so you've got to have a core team or group there that the girls are really coming in, just to add to that, rather than you're not really building your team hopefully around them, because that's quite difficult to do in today's the way it is structured at the minute. So yeah, it's really a team effort. We've with COVID and everything, we've had to add even a few more to our squad over the last while. So I think we're working with, I think we nearly 31 at training last night. So I think we have about 34 on the panel, because we had to bring in people at times. I think we lost 7 or 8 one of the weeks to COVID. So yeah, like, we've a fantastic squad and group there, and they're really just enjoying it. You don't plan to be still. It's great to see them with a smile on their face training in January, freezing cold. So they're really enjoying this run, and hopefully it continues another couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll wait and see, and we wish you well, Anthony. Thanks for coming on again today with us. Jeff Kane from St Judes will stay in the capital. How are you, Jeff?
Really good, thank you. Really
so
good.
you're looking forward to the visit of Carrickmacross to St Margaret's on Sunday. So how's everything shaping up from your end, Jeff?
Yeah, really good, really good. We're trying to just balance players. We'd 12 of our panel last week. They were in a Leinster Camogie semi-final, senior Camogie semi-final as well. So we're just trying to balance them both. Really good setup here now, thank God, in the last couple of years. Donny, Fox, the senior Camogie, we work together, make sure the players aren't overworked. But training last night, they were absolutely flying. They're really looking forward to the weekend. So Margaret's is our new home. I think we've only had one home game in the championship since the start of the Dublin Championship. So we're used to the pitch. We know the area. We know the clubhouse. We know the training area. So really looking forward to it.
Good. Does that crossover between the codes, does that bring a little bit of freshness to it, Jeff, in that you're not just stuck or concentrating on one code all the time? They're bouncing from one to the other. Does that help, or is it a hindrance, or what? How are you finding it?
I suppose it's definitely a help, but again, because eight of the girls were on the Dublin Senior Camogie panel this year. 3 of the girls were on the Dublin Minor Camogie panel. So we've got a lot of coming in and out. But definitely when they're back, they bring an extra intensity to training, and everything kind of sends up a level and brings out the best of all the girls. In the last 2 years, especially, training has just been, the girls have just stepped up. We were lucky last year in the county final against Ballantyre St John's. To be fair, they were deserved winners. But this year the mindset was attack Dublin, see what happens, and try to do one better than last year, and we did. So they're really flying now. They're buzzing, as they say.
Yeah, so that those players are bringing that inter-county mindset and those standards into the club setup, which is phenomenal, I guess, for the other players, Jeff.
It is. It really is. And then with the single coat girls, the football only, they breed off it. But the work that they do offside to that as well, in their own time, to match the levels of everybody else, it's created a really good atmosphere and a really good competitive atmosphere within the panel. And the panel below us as well, the B team as well, they've trained up as well. So it's a kind of waterfall of domino effect down the line as well, which is, it's all good for Jude. So we're really happy with it.
Oh, good stuff. So your game against Carrickmacross, 1 p.m. on Sunday, live stream as well. Of course, all our games are live streamed, as is the other junior semi-final, and that brings in Paul Kelly from Mullinahone and Tipperary, which is between Mullinahone and St Brendan's from Galway. Paul, we chatted, I hope you don't mind saying this, we chatted a while back, and you had a good feeling about this group and that they could go quite a long way in the competition, and so it's proved. Is Paul there now? I think we've just got to steal it, Paul. He might have to sign out and sign back in again. We'll come back to you, Paul. If you can hear us, you might have to sign out and sign back in again. We'll go back to your good self, Marita. We're talking about inter-county players and inter-county standards there. You're also involved with the Mayo senior setup alongside manager Michael Miles there. So how are you managing that on top of everything else? Are you back doing a bit, or are you just in a situation at the moment where you're just waiting for the club activity to I presume there's something happening, bearing in mind that the Lidl National League is not too far away.
Yeah, I know, like, I suppose I'm trying to get us, I'm pretty much on the go every evening, to be honest. So I've only missed a couple of the Mayo sessions so far. But yeah, I'm just trying to split my time between both the Mayo setup and the Castlebar one at the minute. So yeah, look at sure, hopefully it's only for another few weeks anyway.
Well, you'll definitely take another couple of weeks at club level, I'd imagine, Marita, for sure.
Yeah, you know, I won't give out about that.
Paul, we'll try Paul there again. Paul, can you hear us there now?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jackie. Yeah.
Gremlins down in you're probably in school still, are you, Paul? Just finished up for a day's teaching there.
Just finished.
Yeah, there's a little gremlin in the system there. We'll come back to him in a couple of minutes. Anthony, just in terms of, you know, chatting to Jeff about that inter-county mentality and how it feeds and seeps into a club setup, you know, it's difficult to ignore that, you know, the players, Nicole, Niamh, Sinead, Kate, they're inter-county senior medalists. They've done it all. They've won it all. They've seen it all. What kind of an impact do they then have on the rest of the setup when they come back in at club level?
Yeah, it's fantastic. We actually had 6 this last year. So we also had Kim White, who plays with Down, and we had we had one of the Camogie junior players with Dublin as well. So, you know, it's brilliant having them come back into the group. Like I said, you don't. A lot of them make an effort to get down. They all make an effort to get down training when they can, while the county season is going on. But then they bring that energy back in when they're fully back from the Dublin setup or from the Down setup. And again, it's, you know, you're trying to create an environment where the players are leading it and developing themselves and developing the team themselves. So their feedback is invaluable. You know, when they come back in, they speak really well. They're really good communicators to the younger players, and yeah, they're just real leaders in terms of the group. So it'd just be fantastic when they come back in. Like I said, it just revitalizes the energy that you've maybe been working on all season and reinforces some of the things you've been working on in training. So yeah, they're an incredible addition to the group, and having 6 coming from different, 4 from the Dublin setup, 1 from Down and 1 from a Camogie setup, like, you know, you're getting a lot of feedback and a lot of really good information from them.
And Anthony, I get the impression that this club run has captured the imagination of the locality as well. And whenever Sills go far in competitions, that seems to be the case.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like this is my first year with Sills now, so it's incredible to see the kind of community spirit. I suppose it's part of the GAA. You know, the community really rallies around these things. But they're fantastic days. You know, we've been lucky enough to host a couple of games in Leinster, and then the All Ireland quarter final, and the effort in from the club to host these games is incredible. You know what the work that goes in and to getting the pitch ready, getting the area ready, providing stuff for the opposition, and that, like, the effort from the community and the club as a whole is incredible. And yeah, the support has been unbelievable. I can see, I'm getting pictures all day of different things. I think one of the schools had all posters up in the window, and I think the pharmacy had some kind of mural done on the window as well. So it's incredible to see the kind of community getting behind their own. It just creates a brilliant atmosphere. I think we've sold out the tickets.
Yeah.
We sell out the tickets in a couple of hours. I think the tickets were only released to parents or the team. Initially, the link was, and it was sold out within a couple of hours. So we thankfully got some more tickets. They sold out within 2 hours again. So the demand for the tickets is phenomenal. So yeah, it's brilliant to see the support.
Great stuff. Yeah, there's a huge interest in the games. It has to be said, which is great to see. Marita, tell me about how you ended up making the move from Fermanagh to Mayo. How did all that transpire?
Well, I don't want any phone calls from Anthony after this because I played with a few of the lassies on the Kinawley team. So yeah, look at, I suppose work pretty much was one of the main aspects of it. So I work with Irish Water, and then a role just came up in the West. So took a chance and ended up based myself in Mayo. And then, to be honest, started playing football then with Castlebar Mitchels, and then everything kind of took off from there. So got roped into the coaching, and then that was really it. Then
How long have you been in Mayo now, Marita?
It's probably about 7 years now.
Okay.
7 years, yeah. So a lot has happened in those few years anyway. So
Because you continued to play with Fermanagh at intercounty level during that time as well. So how did it, up and down, and what's the distance like there?
you're talking us about I don't know distance wise, but it was about 2 hours, 2 hours 15 kind of one way. Obviously, yeah. So that was a couple of times a week, which was a bit mad, but I think when you're in it, you do it, and you don't really think about it. And now, whenever I'm going up to Fermanagh, I'm thinking, how in God's name did I do this a few times a week? So yeah, I look at it. It was all worthwhile. You know, I had a couple of very good years with Fermanagh, so I can't complain.
No, absolutely. What was the absolute standout highlight during your career, Marita, at intercounty?
Well, like everyone would probably expect me to say when All Ireland in 2017, but yeah, well, look, it was unbelievable. But I think that we had a match against Waterford in it was 2014 to get us into the final against Down, and we lost Caroline Little to an injury in the middle of the game, and it was one of those standout games where we all kind of pulled together and got ourselves across the line. Unfortunately, we didn't win the All Ireland that year, but yeah, I think it was definitely kind of the standout moment whenever you know that you've got a great team there and great morale and stuff. So yeah, it was good.
And was there always a feeling within yourself that you'd like to go into coaching at some stage, Marita? Was it something that just evolved?
I suppose I kind of had it in the back of my head. I didn't really think that it would happen as quickly, I suppose. But I kind of stepped away from playing after 2017, at the end of 2017, and took a year or two just to myself and kind of thinking about things or whatever. And then the Mitchells gig came up, and they approached me to see if I'd be interested, and the rest, as I say, is history. So obviously I must be doing something okay.
Absolutely. So, it's incredible stuff. We'll try Paul. Paul, can you hear us at the very least, or how are we doing now? He's gone again. One of those. We'll come back to your good self. Jeff, you kind of described there St Margaret's has become your kind of a second home. What was the buzz like for the quarterfinal? And again, you know, Anthony referenced the sellout. Your game is an absolute sellout as well, which is indicative, I guess, of the interest in this game coming up at the weekend.
Yeah, it's a sellout. The last game was a sellout. This one's a sellout. We got the additional tickets that came on yesterday were sold out in an hour or two as well. The support around has just been phenomenal. A lot of lads don't mind paying the toll bridge to go over and back to Margaret's, but no, it's like the support from the club. Like because the girls work so hard, they kind of a lot of football has kind of flown under the radar a little bit in the last few years, but they really come to the forefront. Like up until about 2 or 3 years ago, like one of the our captain of last 2 years ago, she's still in the panel, for Rocket, was dragging girls out to Ballybockle on a Wednesday to fulfill a cup match, you know. And because of players like that, it's such a good. They've created such a great buzz that Margaret's will be full of Judes, and it's brilliant. You know, the quarterfinal was great. To be fair to Tiernan, they had a lot of travelling supporters. Yeah. A lot travelled up from the country to support cousins and sisters. You know, and they had a hard out kind of trip across. Obviously, it was kind of going ahead. It wasn't. They were we were in touch with their coaches, and obviously with COVID being so bad, but they made it across. They had great support. I know the scoreline was a little bit complimentary, but it was an enjoyable day, and it was well deserved for the likes of Tiernan to come home and play a home GA match in an All Ireland series, considering like they're only 5 years old, I think, the club, the latest football in the club. But hopefully Sunday will be another successful Margaret's trip for us. But yeah, really looking forward. The support has just been phenomenal. Like it's great. I don't get up to the club that much during the week, only for training and stuff like that. But walking through the car park and you'd see people and congratulating you, wishing you the best of luck, and to see the amount of young girls now going round. And after the match, the last match, a lot of the juvenile section going up and asking girls for autographs, signed jerseys. It was brilliant for them. You know, they've worked so hard and they really deserve it. So hopefully it'll be the same on Sunday. I'm sure Carrickmacross will have an issue with it as well.
They're a good side coming down.
They are a very good side.
Yeah, Jeff, I guess, look, as you say, it was a complimentary victory for you at the quarterfinal stage, and a facile win in many respects. But at the same time, it was good to get that match under your belt, I'm sure. Having come through a Dublin Championship into the Leinster Series and now into effectively a new competition, how important was it to keep the legs ticking over and get that game early in the new year? Get
the momentum going and kind of blow the cobwebs off for Christmas, because we couldn't get friendlies, we couldn't get any challenge match, because obviously the Leinster final fallen so late, and like it was a tough run. Screen in the first round where Mick O'Dowd's team were just, it was a battle, like it really was. And then down to Callan, Aaron and Wexford, and then Colmcille's and Mullinahone as well. There were three really tough games, and just to get that match underneath our belts and start getting the feet working again and the hand-eye working again. And we were very lucky we could bring on some girls that didn't get an awful lot of game time, and they just put the foot in the gas again. Like it was relentless stuff. They were seeing an opportunity to put their name in the hat in the mixer for the next round, and it was brilliant for them, you know.
You met at some tour of duty. You've been around. Does that kind of bond the players even more when you're moving around and going to different venues as well?
Yeah, it did actually. It was for the Dublin Championship. We had one home game that was a semi-final, and a goal in the last minute against the Dwyers actually got us through that. And then we organised a coach for Leinster, and just the girls having the crack and chatting away and playing music and slagging one another and encouraging. There's a nice bit of bonding went on, a bit of food afterwards. It brings them all together. You know, you kind of miss going into clubhouses after games, because of COVID, and that little bit of togetherness I think has really bonded the panel, because we've a panel about 26, 27, you know, and we've a couple of new girls in this year, a couple of new girls in this year as well. So it just kind of the friendships begin to grow more as well, and that goes onto the pitch as well, you know, when they play together.
Absolutely, Anthony. I'm sure you echo a lot of what Jeff is saying about that. You know, fostering that culture and that team spirit within a squad. That to get out of your natural environments at times is no harm whatsoever.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Like those, you know, unique. Players who haven't played it, you know, they don't really get to travel to games, so it's a kind of unique experience, which is fantastic for them as well, and it is a real help in bonding the group. And we were lucky enough; we had a couple of home games in Leinster, so we only had two trips. We had a trip down to Laois, which was a tough enough game down in Ballyroan, and then we did a tough one. We obviously had the Leinster final then was neutral, so we only had the one away game, so we were lucky enough that way. And we've kind of been blessed in the All-Ireland series as well, that we had the quarter-final at home, and now we've got the semi-final at home as well. So but it almost has the other effect around the club, because the games are home. There's, you know, a huge kind of swell of support around Malahide and around the clubhouse, because all these games have been there, and that, you know, it's very easy for people to get to see the game. So but the trips are brilliant as well for bonding the group, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah. And Marita, I'm going to finish with your good self. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Paul back. He seems to have vanished into some kind of technical hole, unfortunately. Marita, the environment that you've walked into in Castlebar compared to an inter-county setup, how would you describe it, and how welcoming has the welcome been to you since you arrived all those years ago, seven years ago or so?
It's been brilliant, to be honest. As soon as, I suppose, from the first training session to now, the club has been so welcoming. The girls have been amazing. I've met some of my best buddies, I suppose, through the club. and that, and like, you know, thankfully there's a few of the girls that are on the county panel too, so they're probably sick looking at me, but I think it's great to be seeing them nearly every night of the week. So no, look at the club, as I said, you know, it's a great club to be involved in. I think that what's great as well is that like us get like the county, when the Connacht and now getting so far within the All-Ireland series, is just generating a lot of interest for younger, like both boys and girls in the club, which is excellent. And you know, it's something that we can see, like that they're seeing all these kind of, what Jeffrey was saying, like all these young kids coming up and wanting their, like, say, their autographs or wanting them to sign their jerseys or whatever. So it's lovely, and like it's something that we're kind of striving towards and trying to get as many people and kids involved in sport as possible. So it's great when you go up on a Saturday or a Sunday and the place is absolutely swamped with kids. So yeah, no, look, a great club, and they've always been very, very good to me. So yeah, it's all good now.
Good. I wish you well. Marita, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate your time this afternoon. So just to run through our fixtures at the weekend, it actually gets underway on Saturday with Castlebar Mitchels against Castleisland Desmonds. Then on Sunday we have St Sylvester's against Kinawley. So those are the two intermediate semi-finals in the currentaccount.ie All-Ireland Club Championships. On Sunday as well, we have St Judes against Carrickmacross and Mullinahone against St Brendan's in the Junior Championship. We wish each of the participants all the very best. A special thanks today to Anthony Cooke from St Sylvester's, Jeff Kane from St Jude's, and Marita McDonald from Castlebar Mitchels, and to Paul Kelly, who unfortunately we couldn't get going, but we wish Mullinahone all the best against St Brendan's as well, and of course travelling St Brendan's, we wish them a safe trip and good luck. That game in Callan on Sunday, the John Knox venue. So all the very best indeed. Folks, thanks for coming on today. Really appreciate your time.
Cheers, Jackie. Thanks,
Cheers,
man.
thank you.